Hi everyone, welcome to the Stay Hungry podcast with Andy and Joel at Codebreak. This week we're talking about the KISS principle. Hi Andy, how you doing?
KISS, now you're talking. Excellent. Crazy
Not the band,
nights. Are we going to talk proper glam rock?
Not the glam rock band. I knew you were going to do that. That was...
What about the Prince song? Yeah, or Tom Jones covered it as well, but yeah, Prince did it originally.
You didn't finish my little tune. That's very upsetting.
Oh, sorry. Go on, carry on. You were going to sing it then as well.
I thought you were going to do the Tom Jones KISS bit, but you didn't.
Think about a dance now. That one.
Yeah. It's a terrible, horrendous start to this podcast.
We're digressing already, aren't we? The KISS principle, keep it super simple, and that's us being polite, because it used to be, keep it simple, stupid or something, didn't it?
Yes.
And it's all about, we see this a lot with calls to action. I mean, I think a lot of this podcast will be about, one, making your calls to action clear, having a call to action, but keeping it simple, because sometimes, got to be careful how we phrase this now. You've got to don't flatter your audience too much. You might think you're making something clear and obvious, but believe me, there are some people out there who are, let's say, very busy people. So you've got to make it simple. That was quite politically correct, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think what you were trying to say was that there's some really stupid people out there, and if you don't spell out exactly what they need, don't expect them to understand.
Oh, you've undone all my good work there, Joel. I don't know what you mean, Joel. People are busy these days. You've got to make it simple for them.
Well, I guess there's different reasons for people appearing stupid, but I know that when I'm brushed off my feet and stressed with whatever I have going on, that unless a call to action or a guide or an advert is really easy to understand, it isn't going to grab my attention, and I'm also not going to be able to recall it later on. So I might be stupid, but even smart people, when they're under pressure, won't be able to recall your message unless it's simple.
Mm-hmm. And I think social media has become the go-to source of information for so many people. If you don't spell things out on your social, they'll just get confused. And to be honest, the next step in their minds will probably just to message you. And so I'll give you an example. We've got a client, and this guy sent a direct message to the client, and it said, how much does XYZ cost and what time do you open? And that information is easily available on our client's website. But so many people now, they either don't like websites, can't be arsed looking for a website, or literally are just too thick to realise there's a website. Just easier to sit on my arse and message the guy, what time do you open tomorrow? How much is this? And unless you make it clear on your social that all this kind of information can be found here, you'll just be firefighting so much of your time, because social media is there to make the selling easier. It's there to make your lives easier. And if you're finding yourself sat there all evening answering the stupidest direct messages, there's a good, use Christmas to address that. Right. And obviously spend some time with your family, I suppose. And have a chocolate orange.
Do you have chocolate orange at Christmas, do you?
Well, we steal it from the children, yeah. They haven't noticed yet, really, but they get bought a chocolate orange usually by someone, and we keep it in the fridge, and me and Emma eat it watching The World's Strongest Man. Which, oh God, that probably won't be on this year now, will it? I suppose, because it's usually filmed in the summer, isn't it?
I was going to say, I haven't looked up who's won this.
Oh, it won't be Christmas without World's Strongest Man.
It won't be Christmas without World's Strongest Man. I agree, but I don't think many others do.
And I've decided anyway, I'm boycotting World's Strongest Man because it's heightist. I wouldn't be able to enter it because of those Atlas stones. The little podiums are just too high, and I think that's just heightist.
To be fair, I think I probably wouldn't be able to enter, because even the supposedly short guys in it are about 6'3". So,
yeah, but you can lift 500 kilograms or something, can't you? Your deadlift now.
I wish.
What was it? Two. What have you done?
280.
280.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. Oh, bloody hell! You definitely go for maybe not World's Strongest Man. Try with Shropshire's Strongest Man first, and work your way up.
I think the other events might be a problem.
Well, you've got more height than me when it comes to those Atlas stones.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I've got to just put that dream to rest, Joel. I'm going to focus on Tour de France now instead. That's my next goal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You don't think I've got much hope there then?
Oh, I can be. Just keep trying, Andy. Just keep trying. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'm a bit nervous. I'm going back to training tonight, and I certainly won't be lifting anything like that. So
Yeah, we'll go. Well, I remember last time you did a big deadlift, you were literally useless for about a fortnight.
yeah, yeah. I think I still hurt now, to be honest, from that one.
Well, stopping you from doing your running, you're supposed to be starting your couch to 5K, aren't you?
Yeah, but there's a bit of an issue with my couch to 5K is I can run 5K.
Oh, right. We'll do the 10K to 21K then.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Oh, okay. Anyway, what we talk about, we do digress a lot.
Yeah, we're talking about.
Maybe that's part of the appeal, though, because haven't we got like 4,000 listeners or something now?
We have got 4,000 listeners. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Probably only 2 listening to this specific podcast. They've turned off by now. So they're
Yeah.
hearing me talk about lifting an Atlas stone when I'm like
You know,
5'5", and yeah.
I'd see World's Strongest Man for me growing up was kind of like a really important part of Christmas. I remember watching it with my dad. It was
And me.
a big deal.
Jeff Capes. Well, was that before your time?
A long time before my time.
Okay, yeah. Jeff Capes, and then all the Icelandic guys started coming.
Yeah,
through.
Magnus Magnusson when I was a kid, really.
And John Paul Sigmarsson or something, is it?
Yeah,
Or big blonde men.
Yeah, and then Marius. Is it Pujanovsky?
Oh, Pujanovsky, yeah. And so, because he was properly ripped as well, wasn't he? Rather than the what they call it, the power belly that a lot of them have.
Yeah, he was ripped. Yeah. Yeah,
I think is he 5 times? He's got the record, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But then he's had a few allegations, hasn't he? But then I suppose maybe a few of them are doing stuff.
Sport, they're having a laugh.
Yeah. World's Strongest. Anyway, we're really like going off kilter here. Tour de France, World's Strongest Man. Calls to action, keeping things super simple. What's the worst offender that you see in marketing where people are just literally making work for themselves by not keeping their message clear enough?
Oh, I was thinking about this the other day. On a weird level, the retail part by us where we go to the supermarket has a KFC and a McDonald's next to each other on it, and the queue for the McDonald's drive-through is always huge, to the point that they've had to put like a snaking system in the car park now for lockdown or whatever, and there's just no queue for KFC whatsoever.
Right.
And because I like to bore my wife silly, I started talking to her about what might the reason be for that.
Right.
And
you never switch off, do you? Basically,
not really, no. And I think essentially, McDonald's offering is just very simple. The way they communicate is simple. You know what you're going to get. It's just easy. And KFC is just a little bit convoluted. Still good and still done well, but it's just a bit overly complicated.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone listening hasn't seen The Founder yet, the film starring Michael Keaton about Ray Kroc, who basically took this little Californian burger joint owned by the McDonald brothers and turned it into obviously the behemoth it is today, well worth a watch because it's all about processes, systems, and like you say, keeping it simple. You go into McDonald's anywhere in the world, you know what you're getting. It is clear.
Yeah.
To all, even my dad could get his head around McDonald's.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think McDonald's marketing campaign has been "I'm loving it" for probably 20 years now, and in that time, KFC has had about 30 different campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
I think what the clock at the moment is the KFC.
Oh, you're joking. Oh, I just must be getting really old now. I remember when French Connection became sort of FC UK, and obviously there was almost outrage at that time. Oh my God, it's almost like they're saying the word fuck, whatever. But now it's just become so commonplace. I mean, Emma and I did a 15K this morning. We both got our bone conducting headphones so we could run safely and listen to music. And I've put a few running playlists together. And It's So easy came on, which is a Guns N' Roses song off their album Appetite for Destruction. And that album, I think, was released in '87. Didn't really do much, and it was re-released in sort of '89. But anyway, sometime around the late '80s, when they became massive, me and my mates got into Guns N' Roses. But it was like this song, "It's So Easy." They say Axl drops the F-bomb, and at that time it was like, oh my god, he said "fuck" on a record. You couldn't believe it, and like at that time it was massive. But now, I mean, probably every song in the top 10 dropping the F-bomb. It's become such a commonplace word. I almost think when people are using or playing on that word in their marketing now, it's like you're sort of 30 years too late. It's a bit tired. French Connection were doing that over 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well, that's
like,
it. What cluck isn't accessible, is it? You know, there's the reason the drive-through queue for McDonald's is huge is because it's accessible to all ages, and what the cluck is very much targeting a set demographic.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. What the cluck? Oh dear me.
It's quite a few. Back to the fact that there's loads of impersonators of KFC. You know, you've got all these different chicken places.
Well, see, that was the last campaign I remember. It's when I last went to the cinema, so that would have been beginning of the year, I suppose. And KFC's entire cinema ad was basically taking the piss out of all these other chicken shop imitators. It was a very clever ad, but like I say, it's almost like Lynx, really, where they had this clear brand message, and then suddenly they just started changing their message every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, was that an ad for Lynx? Blimey, I didn't realise that. You know, the Lynx effect was, I thought, worked really well. For some reason, I guess their brand agency disagreed, or they went to a new agency.
Misogynistic, I think.
You what, sorry?
Misogynistic.
No, is that what it was?
I think so. I think it dated. You know, I remember that guy on the beach spraying himself with Lynx and hordes of women running towards him.
No, yeah, I want my money back. I didn't have any hordes of women running towards me.
Well,
I was missold, Joel. False advertising.
By the time I went to university, if you had a can of Lynx, people would say things like, "Oh, did your nan buy you that for Christmas?"
I won't tell you. I've got Lynx Africa upstairs. Then
have you?
And even worse. What are two worse?
You've got.
Yeah, that's one of them. What's the other one?
Old Spice.
Yes, they're 3 out of 3, Joel. We could have planned this.
You're going to tell me next that you wear Jute aftershave?
Oh my God! What have I? No, I tell you what though, I have got an old bottle of cool water somewhere.
Davidoff Cool Water.
Yeah,
Davidoff Cool Water and CK1. That's 90s right there.
Without sounding too weird, if I were to think of a smell associated with my father, my late dad, it would be Old Spice. Just remember that bottle he had with a funny little stopper.
Yeah,
oh God, because he had the proper bowl with the foam and the brush and every Old Spice brush and everything with the little pirate ship on or whatever. It's oh God. I don't know what Emily from our team would make in this podcast. She'd be like, Old Spice Brute, what the fuck are they on about?
But I'm pretty sure Brute and Old Spice were pretty much like, unless you went to Harrods, it was all you could get.
Because Old Spice, I mean, I don't know if that campaign's still going. They had that, what was he, American football or something? They had that guy doing, basically the really handsome guy saying
on a horse.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
Look at me. No, look at me here. And it's like, yeah, that was quite. I was sure Old Spice became trendy again.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they were trying to make Old Spice trendy, but I don't think it worked.
Oh, okay, that's a shame. It's just me then who bought into it.
Yeah.
Right, keeping it simple. You and Hannah. So that's a good example then, wasn't it? McDonald's, KFC. Obviously, I'm sure KFC are doing super well. McDonald's. It's almost like, of course, they've reinvented themselves a few times. When Morgan Spurlock's book came out, they addressed quite a few things. They pretty much
the menu.
They pretty much always strayed from their kept to their simple model. And I think next year when they've got the McPlant burger launching, you know, it will still be kept super simple. And I bet that will do well for them because I mean they're almost a bit late to the party on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they've been showing up there actually.
Yeah, because where did we got a takeaway in the office, didn't we? And we all had a halloumi burger. Where was that from?
Burger King did halloumi burgers, and they do. Is it not Beyond Burger? What's the other one? I don't know.
The Impossible Burger?
Impossible Burger. Yeah, they do an Impossible Whopper.
Oh, blimey! But yeah, their halloumi burger. God, that was very nice. But we have finally found a decent vegan cheese because Emma's been making cauliflower pizza bases,
Right.
and yeah, found a decent vegan cheese. So if I'm actually feeling properly vegan rather than veganish, we'll have one of them. And yes, it's decent.
I don't believe you.
Cauliflower pizza.
Well, I can't stand for cauliflower. I don't like cauliflower, so that's an issue, isn't it?
Have we
But
tried cauliflower pizza though?
well,
Right, that's a challenge then. Right, we'll do your cauliflower pizza. Well, Emma will do. I will observe and advise and consult.
I've had see, I get forced cauliflower rice sometimes, and that's
Well,
how.
that's nice.
No, it's not.
Okay, but she's just thinking about your heavy carb intake.
Well, yeah, exactly that. But I
Do
would
you
just,
realise we're 20 minutes in and we've hardly talked anything about this? You can tell we haven't been in the office together.
yeah.
We'll be talking about The Mandalorian next because, oh my goodness. What a
Talk about
show.
keeping it simple as well.
Ah,
There's a good example. What do people like about Star Wars? Well, they like that it's kind of like a sci-fi western. Right, let's make one of those then. Job done.
Emma can do her crocheting and still know what's going on in The Mandalorian. There's no, who's he? What's going on? She knows it. And I'm not saying it's like children's entertainment or anything. It's beautifully shot and it is simple. It is like a science fiction western. And of course it's got Baby Yoda in. Are you up to date on that?
I am up to date. Yeah.
Oh, how good was that Robert Rodriguez episode?
Is that the latest?
The latest one, yeah, with
Yeah.
those funny stormtroopers,
With
whatever.
Boba Fett
Yeah.
stolen the Sand. Is it they called the Sand People?
Oh yes, their gaffy stick or whatever.
Yeah, he stole their stick. Yeah.
Yeah, that was such good telly. It's really hard having to wait a week, isn't it?
It's quite nice though because I quite like that because Hannah really enjoys it too. So on a Friday night, we just know we're going to settle down with some tea and watch Mandalorian, and that's quite nostalgic.
So do you think this is why Star Wars is bigger than Star Trek? Because I'm a fan of both. That Star Trek's just too deep, and whereas Star Wars now it's simple. You know, again, it's good against bad.
Yeah,
Or it certainly was in the early days.
Star Wars is family viewing, isn't it? And Star Trek is not.
I just watched Star Trek with my dad. He took me to see Star Trek the motion picture in '79.
But I bet your mum didn't watch it.
No, she was looking after Pete.
Do you know that's what I think? I think Star Wars is kind of accessible to everybody. Star Trek's a little bit.
Too cerebral. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right, come on. Let's talk about some easy tips for people then in terms of keeping them meshing. I mean, no, every piece of marketing can't come up with a sell, but generally speaking, you need to have calls to action. People need to know what do you want them to do. So if they're reading a blog of yours or what do you want them to do? Is it go somewhere? Is it do something? Is it use a coupon? Whatever it needs to be, that needs to be so clear and front and center.
And I think you need to remember that your call to action needs to entice them to do it as well.
Yeah.
So if let's say, so many businesses make the mistake of saying, give us a call because we're great, basically. And that isn't a call to action. That is nonsense. That's like copy and paste benefits, where what you really want to do is, let's say you're an accountant and you can say, well, we take your tax headache away, get in touch here. Suddenly you're addressing the pain that person's going through.
Yeah.
I think that's something that's, it doesn't matter for McDonald's because people know what McDonald's is, but for SMEs, so many businesses get that wrong, where they assume that just because somebody's on their website or reading their brochure that they're interested. And that's a false assumption.
Yep. And I think when you say about getting in touch as well, it literally gets to the point where you need to spell it out. You can't say, call us today. Well, where's your number? And if I know, let's say, for example, this is a blog on your website and you haven't got a sticky menu, which means to find the phone number, people need to scroll all the way back up to the top again. You've got to make it easy. And if you're directing people to your website, are you driving them to the exact page they need to land on, or are you just doing the lazy trick, which most people seem to do, and just drive them to the homepage? If you're talking about, say, a specific, I don't know, let's say you sell 5 products and you're talking about one specific product, but the link is to your homepage, you're making a mistake, because then people, well, I'm looking for this specific product. Where's that then? And you could lose them. People just, well, obviously they might not be blessed upstairs, but they are busy. And whether they are or not, they think they are. Everyone thinks they're busy. I know people who seem to, like, on furlough, sit around scratching their arse all day, but they still claim they're, like, really, really busy.
Yeah.
And they'll just go off the ball and maybe go to a competitor. And you've got to drive them to the exact right place where it is you want them to go to.
Yeah, exactly that. And is that fill in a form? Is that email? Is that call? Is that download this? Whatever it might be.
This sounds really weird when we're talking to each other about this, because it just sounds literally such a simple thing. Because I hope we're not teaching grandma to suck eggs, but you wouldn't believe how many times we see mistakes like this happening. Even with Facebook ads. A Facebook ad should never drive people to the homepage of your website. Never. And if you haven't got something more specific on your website, bloody hell, you're in trouble. You need to get your website sorted quick, sharp.
Yeah, I went to a virtual network meeting last night, and the host of the meeting asked everybody in the room to sum up in less than 10 words what they do.
Okay.
And the point of the exercise was that most people will tell you their profession if you ask them that question.
Mm-hmm.
And what the host was trying to say is actually what you should be thinking about is what effect do you have on your customers?
Mm-hmm.
So by the time it got to me, and I knew how to play this game, so I said, well, I help.
Oh, right. Like, we haven't planned this, Joel. Shall I guess?
Go on then.
Obviously, I'm going to totally show myself up now, because you literally got the 3 aftershaves or the 3 deodorants I've got upstairs. It's making business owners happier by generating more sales or something like that.
Well, yeah, exactly that. So I said, I help businesses grab the attention of their potential customers.
Oh, okay. I think mine was better.
Yours was very direct. If I was a call centre,
You want to make, in fact, is our mission statement? Is it to help people and have fun?
Help people and have fun, yeah.
Hard at the moment, got to admit.
On both counts.
Well, because we don't see any people, and I'm having such a Zoom nightmare at the moment. I think, I'm almost like praying for the days of the humble telephone, where you just speak to someone.
Yeah, I'm getting that vibe from you.
Well, especially if you're trying to have a Zoom 101, okay. But I find it's definitely a problem where there's multiple people involved, because you talk over each other. Someone's always got a bad internet connection and keep appearing and disappearing, and then like their mouths and the voice don't sync, and it's just like a bit painful, Joel.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's why you leave me to do all the staff Zooms, isn't it?
Well, and you're better than me, to be honest.
Okay. I think that's a false compliment, so you don't have to do it.
No, it's where I gently encourage you to do something.
It's all right, Joel. You carry on.
You're better than me, Joel. I can't be asked to deal with people. I have to deal with children here. It's quite hard to deal with anyone else after that.
Yeah, you've got the zoo as well to consider.
Oh, yes, I take Lucky to the vets this morning.
Oh, no, why?
Little, like, sort of skin infection thing she's been nibbling at, and she hates the vets as well. She's terrified. So I had to do that this morning. But yeah, it's all fun and games. But yeah, if someone had told me how much hassle, to be honest, a Jack Russell would be, I'd have got another Labrador. It's just don't want to go in the vet. Literally, she'll ground in like a bloody wrestler or a sumo wrestler. So I'm trying to drag this bloody half a stone dog into the vet, and then of course you've got to like attach their lead to a hook on the wall, then stand back for the vet to then come and unhook them, take them in, and I can't wait for things to start getting a bit normal again.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
But we'll get there. We'll get there. So yes, I mean, calls to action, making it super simple, directing people to the right place. And we did, so you or me, we did a video talking about the phone the other day, and it's how a lot of people, they still want their main call to action to be call us on. And generally speaking, if you've got an advert running and that advert is, say, running evenings, weekends, and no one's going to answer your phone. But to be honest, how many times do people answer their phone even in the daytime?
Yeah.
If your only call to action is a phone number, you're missing a trick. And most importantly, you're missing out on business there.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I had a good experience yesterday, actually. I had to buy a dog harness. And I went on the website, and the calls to action were incredibly clear. Really good website. And then as I went through the checkout process, it started throwing upsells at me with more calls to action. It started talking about if I come back within 14 days, I have this discount. And it was quite refreshing.
Oh, mate. God, that's and how did you find this site in the first place?
Well, this will give you an idea of this. What happens when you become a pet owner, I suppose. But basically, I went on a Staffy forum to
stay away from forums, Joel.
to
They're
find
time
out what the
vampires.
best harness for a Staffy was, because they're very strong.
Right.
And so then, literally 3 or 4 different sources all pointed back to this company.
Okay.
So called Roughwear.
Why don't you just get when we had Mort round, a dog trainer, because our lab's strong enough, to be honest. Our Jack Russell's strong for her size, and we just got those leads that sort of go over their head, but then go over the nose as well. And it's soft; it's not metal, but basically, when they try and pull, it sort of tightens a bit around their nose, which they don't like, and straight away, they don't pull.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're really. Is that why you're getting a harness? Because George pulls.
So he
Because a harness doesn't stop them from pulling you.
So this one does, because it's got a clip on the underneath as well as a clip on the top. So the clip on the underneath is a training clip, and the clip on the top's for once he's sorted.
Okay.
Because his previous owners never walked him on the lead, and he walks really well off the lead. But obviously, living in a village where there's lots of children and stuff, that's not really okay. So
how much does harness cost? Don't mind me asking.
40 quid.
Okay, now we talked about this again. Really, children and pets. That's the next business we should get into.
Oh yeah.
People will always spend.
I mean,
that's like, wow. That's
4
times what I spend on my brother for Christmas.
Well, I've got to be honest. I had that moment where I did it, and then I went downstairs to talk to the dog, which is something I never thought I'd say. And I said to him, "Oh, you've got a Christmas present coming," and then I had like a cold sweat of like, shit, what have I become? I'm talking to the dog, telling them they've got a Christmas present coming. I need to go and give my head a wobble.
What's even worse is that you're going to wrap it up in some sort of doggy Christmas paper and put it under the tree with all the others for him to open on Christmas Day.
Terrified of putting the tree up, let alone having presents under it. So.
I wish our bloody cats were getting the tree next Friday. Oh no, this Friday, because the kids break up on Thursday. And yeah, we have to. Well, we mentioned this, didn't we? We have to put our baubles a certain height up the tree, otherwise our cats get them. And yeah, some very expensive decorations they've broken. Yeah. So this site, this website, the dog accessories one, they kept it simple, but they also had got their sales hats on.
I'm on there now, so I'll talk you through. So you go to the website, and the first call to action you'll see is a button on top of a video, so you can watch a video about how great these harnesses are if you want. But the button says "Shop New Gear." Right. Simple. Click that, and it takes you straight to the shop with all the different things that they sell. And then it's just very obvious what they want you to do all the way through. There's no kind of complexity. So I've clicked on a jacket now, and then it says select size, and you can pick the size, and it brings up a thing to tell you how to measure your dog.
I've got to say, if anyone listening runs an e-commerce store, please make sure it's easy to buy. Please have buy now, shop now buttons everywhere. If people have to hunt around to actually put something in their cart, oh God, you're just losing money.
On the screen now, in terms of simplicity for e-commerce, I've got the product name, product description, the price, the option to read all the reviews and how many stars. So this is a 5-star product. Choice of colours, choice of sizes, and then within that choice of sizes, I can open up how to measure your dog guide. I can choose the quantity I want, and then the only thing I can actually click is add to basket.
Brilliant.
And when I do that,
And are you doing this on a mobile? So it obviously works properly on a mobile. And
well, this is on desktop, but yeah, I have seen it on a mobile.
Mm.
But then
I'd say I reckon maybe a quarter, maybe a fifth of websites I go to on a mobile still don't adapt properly. And again, especially if you're e-commerce, no point having buy now buttons that are so tiny. You know, you need a pair of binoculars to see them. You've got to make things easy, and making it easy on a mobile for pretty much any business is a must. We've got B2B clients, and 90% of their traffic is still on a mobile device. It ain't a desktop.
you're gonna like this bit.
Oh, go on.
So I've clicked add to basket, and
Please tell me it's come up with a suggested prompt to go with it.
so it hasn't taken me to the basket. It's brought up it's dark in the mornings at the moment. Help keep your dog visible in low light conditions with our new beacon safety light.
Oh, love it.
So
Love it.
No, I can skip past that if I want. So I'll skip past.
Now, I would say, obviously, we love it because we're marketers. I think some business owners would be worried about doing something like that because they think, oh, it's a bit in your face, and well, someone didn't go there. We know they're looking for a dog harness, they're not looking for a dog light. Or are you sure? It's like if you're not cross-selling or upselling in a nice way, again, that's a massive, simple opportunity to earn more money and help people more at the same time.
Hugely. So let's say I don't think that would annoy anybody enough to stop them buying what they wanted originally, because it was easy enough to get rid of it.
How much is this light?
25 quid.
Nice. So you've gone potentially from a 40 quid sale to a 65 quid sale.
Yes.
Just by asking, would you like fries of that? Or would
exactly that. So let's say if only 1 in 10 people do it, that's still a massive change for your store, isn't it?
Asking the question is such a big part of easily and simply being able to make more money. You're not pinning someone into the corner and saying, buy my fucking shit now. You know, God, do you remember the days of face-to-face networking where there'd always be some guy, I don't know, flogging utilities or something, and they literally would corner you in the corner of a room trying to get you to switch to their utility provider.
It was utilities as well that I remember.
Yeah. And it's not, asking a question is so different. And if someone is going to get offended because you said, hey, you know, dog harness, great. What about a light? To be honest, I wouldn't worry about them so much. It's better to maybe piss off one person, but to get more sales off 10 people.
Yeah.
Because there'll be someone you won't be able to please anyway. And so I wouldn't even worry about it.
Yeah, hugely. And it's just, I mean, I didn't really even know. I obviously knew you could get reflective strips for your dog and stuff like that. But I think this is a premium brand. So when you get to the point where you're investing in a harness so the dog's comfortable and blah, 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 chances are you'd quite like the other stuff to go with it as well.
Yeah.
It's
I suppose the big boys do this really well. But there's, with things like Shopify and stuff now, the ability to upsell and cross-sell is available to pretty much any e-commerce business out there. And again, all you're doing is asking the question. But even a service-based provider, I don't know, you're buying an insurance policy or something. What else can you add on to that? What else might be of benefit to that person? Yeah, and it's nothing complicated. We're not going down. You know, it's still the McDonald's model, right? You bought a burger. Would you like fries with that? Would you like a drink with that? Some people will say yes. Some people will say no. So the worst that can happen is you earn what you were going to earn anyway.
Yeah, and that's as a kind of business owner, that's what you have to remember is it's not rude to ask a question. It's only rude if you're forcing them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think, and when you get smarter with it and you see the sort of things that people do go for, you'll actually find that people like it, you're improving the customer journey, and there's nothing more simple than something being put in front of you if you want it.
Yeah. It's like talking about networking, when you stand up and do your 60-second elevator pitch, some people would try and cram every benefit of their business into this 60 seconds. Whereas no, what you want to do is focus on one thing, because for networking to work, you've got to turn up consistently anyway. If you're going to turn up once, pillage for business, and then go off if you don't get any, then networking ain't for you. So you go there once, you focus on one aspect of your business, and then the next time you turn up, you focus on something else. And again, just keeping it simple, because especially if you're the bloke or the lady who has to turn up at the end, is the last to go when everyone's tucking into their breakfast and they've heard 37 other people speak before you. A lot of people are switched off anyway. So if you're there trying to talk about everything you offer, it just isn't going to sink in. And sometimes with websites, with ads, just because you've got all this room to play with doesn't mean you have to. Just because you've now got 280 characters on Twitter instead of 140, that doesn't mean you have to use all 280. So still focus on taking people down a single journey, but with these little offshoots, these little things you can throw into the mix, but never lose sight of that, what your main focus is for that person to do. What do you want them to do? I want them to buy a burger, but if I can tack on a fries and a drink with that, even better.
Yeah.
Making me hungry now, Joel.
Well, I think as well, you have to remember that people love a deal. They love feeling like they get a deal. So if they know that individually a burger, fries and a drink cost £6, if they buy them together it's £5, they've saved £1 in their mind, even though they've probably spent £1 more. And that's caught me several. I mean, I've been doing my Christmas shopping lately, and one website I was on, you had to spend £70 to get free delivery, and you're
spending £70 on me, Joel.
You wish. And the item I bought was £65. So rather than paying the £4 delivery, I went and found something else on the website that I could for somebody else.
Brilliant.
And that's what people need to consider. If you offer free delivery over £50 and somebody adds something below £50 and probably over £40 to the basket, you need to make sure a pop-up appears to say, don't forget you get free delivery over £50.
And importantly, this is for a business, no matter what price point you're at, because a lot of people think deals are just for the lower end, the little people. It's like, no, believe me, we know some really, really rich people who still want a deal, even if they can save themselves £1. It's like, it's a little triumph. You walk into the Ferrari showroom, I think that's usually your example, and see if you can't wangle some kind of deal. Just because someone's got a shitload of money, or just because your product is super expensive, doesn't mean people aren't still looking for a deal.
Yeah, if you go in there and say, I've only got £1 million, they'll still do you a deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Deals are good. And like you said, it's not about, just 10% off or 20% off, even though those offers can work well sometimes. It's about added value. Like you say, well, I'm about to spend £50, but if I spent 10 quid more, I'd get free delivery, and it's 3 for the price of 2. It's spend X, get Y free. The kind of creative offers that the likes of Sainsbury's and Boots do really well. You go into Boots for a tube of toothpaste and you come out with enough sort of goods to furnish an entire dental
Old
practice.
Spice, Brute and Lynx.
Cool. Well, I think we put the world to rights there. Emma's there doing the helicopter signal.
That mean, Andy, we need to go and pick up my car.
But basically, yes. But that's okay. It's early start today, but I think we've covered quite a bit of ground there, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And the moral of the story is simplify it to its most basic form. What's the easiest way to communicate what you want people to do?
Excellent. And as ever, if anyone would like any sort of advice, some tailor-made Q&A, just visit codebreak.co.uk and fill out the discovery call form. There we go. That was simple.
That's a beautiful plug. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good one.
Catch you later.